And we're back, not playing Genius Invocation TCG this time. No. That was the last 6.5 episodes. Now, we're getting back to doing some story quests. And the next one that we have lined up is for Tainan. I need to get more keys. I'm not going to be able to do the next story quest if I don't have more keys. However, I am of the opinion that before I reach episode 131, there's going to be another event. I'm going to record that. So there's going to be a break between doing these and that. There's always so much to do, though. All right. We got this one open. The unanswerable problems. The start of contamination. You haven't gone to see Catherine in a while. Why don't you go have a look? I guess we'll go have a look. Go all the way up to Sentient City. Tell them report. And slightly up the hill, it's a Catherine. I still have not done any of these quests, like, at all. Ever. Not in any city.
Traveler, you've come at a good time.
Have I now?
Wait, this sounds like another commission.
Of course it does.
It is as you say. The commission this time around is of high importance. It pertains to the safety of the Avidia Forest's inhabitants.
Huh? What happened?
Not long ago, we received word that a section of the Avidia Forest seems to have become contaminated.
Dun dun dun.
Contaminated?
Dun dun dun.
A new withering zone?
That's what I think.
I don't know about the specifics, but I hear that strange things are happening to people who cross through that region. The
Like?
Avidia Forest inhabitants won't leave their homes so easily. If we allow this contaminated region to expand, the consequences could be unimaginable.
I want to know what's happening.
That's why I want to ask you to investigate the situation. Even if all you can do is stop the contamination from spreading, that will still save many people.
This is forest business.
And?
Maybe Tainari will know something. Let's go find him.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. The unanswerable problems. We have the new voice actor for this, right? Supposedly the new voice actor is supposed to come in and redub all the lines. I wonder if I'll be able to tell just by hearing it once we approach. Because I haven't been playing as much as I once was. Because I got Tears of the Kingdom, just wrapped up Pokemon. There's like a lot going on. I'm trying to wrap up recording for Wind Waker now. So I got a lot going on, so I'm just not playing as much. Please don't trigger until I get inside. No, I guess that works. As long as I'm not falling to my death.
This is where you've been, Tainari? That's...
Is that a kid that has had a problem with going through the forest?
Keep your voice down.
Tainari, everything's spinning. Am I going to die?
What a worry for a kid to have.
Tell Mom that I should have listened to her. And tell Suna that I'm sorry for breaking her toy. I didn't tell her because I was scared that she wouldn't play with me anymore. Tainari, I heard that people turn into birds after they die.
Where'd you hear that?
Is that true? I feel like I'm getting lighter.
He could just be really sick.
What happened? Tainari, is he?
There's a few times growing up I thought I was going to die just because I wasn't in good shape.
Okay, enough nonsense. You just have a small fever. Take your medication and rest. You'll be bouncing off the walls in no time.
Really? Then, can you keep the thing about the toy a secret for now?
No can do.
You went back on that really
You're a
quick.
big kid now. Once you've recovered, Go and apologize. Keeping secrets to yourself won't solve anything.
Oh.
Hey, let me ask you
I don't
something.
think this is redub yet.
I recall that you're usually pretty healthy. How
Ooh,
did you get this sick all of a sudden?
it's storming
I don't know
all of a sudden.
either. Mom's been telling me not to play in the forest.
And you
I
didn't listen.
just wanted to look inside.
Inside
It's
what?
different
The
from
forest?
before. I got lost and went around in a huge circle. After I got out, I started feeling dizzy.
Could it be?
The contaminated region?
So that's how this whole mess happened. Anyway, go rest. No running around until I say so.
What do you mean, go
Got it.
rest? Shouldn't he stay where he
Traveler.
is?
Paimon, let's step out for now.
You leave the room with Tainari.
Mr. Forest Watcher, how is my son?
I gave him some antipyretics. Let him rest here for a while. I told him that he would feel better after some medicine and rest, but I only said that to comfort him. His symptoms resemble a fever, but something else is causing them. They seem more akin to a disruption in his psyche. Antipyretics won't be of much use.
What do we do? Mr. Forest Watcher, you have to help him.
If memory serves,
I need more urgency
a
or
plant called
voice.
Visanti grass can help soothe the mind. A small number grow in arid deserts. They usually look like shriveled weeds, but can be revitalized with a splash of water. They're expensive and unable to grow in the Avidia forest's climate, so I don't have any on hand.
I guess we're gonna go pick some up.
Go find Kale. Have her prepare medicinal tools and a set of traveling gear for me.
All right. Thank you.
Contaminated region. Is that why you two are also here?
Yup.
Yep. Is it a new withering zone?
Probably something slightly
Doesn't
different.
seem like one. Whether you look at scale, internal conditions, or resultant effects, they're completely different. The only thing they have in common is that they aren't welcome. This nuisance made itself home in the Avidia forest, so I can't turn a blind eye.
We feel the same way.
All right, let's contact the caravans first and purchase some Visanti grass. We can also ask about the contaminated region. There's no time to waste. We have to move quickly. Let's go.
Alright, let's. Is he gonna be traveling with us? You can't handle the desert though. Let's see, to the merchants, to the merchants, to the merchants, to the merchants. This might be the best way to go about it. Alright. And down. Out of the entrance of Samara City. How come we don't talk to Nahida about this? Wouldn't Nahida be very knowledgeable on the matter? I think so.
Excuse me. I'd like to purchase some Visanti grass. Do you have any?
I'm sorry, Mr. Forest Watcher, but we've been closed for the past few days.
Clothes?
Wow.
Now that's odd. It's my first time hearing you say something like that.
It's a long story.
We
Some
got
of our
time.
goods were stolen recently.
That's a pretty
They were
good story.
mechanical parts that we got from the academia. Although they're old models, they still fetch a good price on the market. Our caravans had to pool together Mora to afford those parts. Now that they've been lost, we'll likely come up short this trip.
How short?
All the merchants talked it over, and we decided to raise the prices of our remaining inventory. Until this plan takes effect, none of us can privately sell anything.
I don't
What about
get it.
publicly?
If these goods are so important, then why not think of a way to get them back? Raising prices won't solve anything. At best, you're shoving the consequences of the robbery onto your customers.
Thank you,
Mr. Forest Watcher, it's not that we don't
freaking
want
gas
to.
companies.
It's just The thief disappeared into the deepest parts of the forest. We asked around, and apparently the forest has been very unusual as of late. Anyone who goes in experiences mental anomalies. We can't keep waiting out here for the thief to come out. All we could do is come up with another solution.
So the bandit hid in the contaminated region after stealing those mechanical parts? How many people were there in total? Were they not affected by the contaminated region?
That crook came from the contaminated region. As for how many, there weren't any people.
A runner?
No people?
Wouldn't be a runner.
Even if I tell you,
Billy
you
Troll?
might not believe me.
Disorder.
Oh,
Mushrooms.
fine. The thief that stole our parts was a huge mechanical crab.
What the heck?
I can see that being the
The Avidia
case.
Forest has creatures like that?
Didn't you see any in the Avidia Forest field guide? Is it that crab?
To be honest, I'd rather not think about it.
Why not?
It moved too skillfully to be new at this. It came out of nowhere. Before we could react, it swiped our goods and ran away. We were all shocked. By the time we came to our senses, the thief was already long gone.
I see. If we help you retrieve your stolen goods, then business will return to normal?
Oh, but of course! Not only that, but you'll become one of our caravan's VIPs on all
Sounds nice.
future purchases of any...
Tanar is already turning it down.
Enough. Tell me something that's actually useful. Any
He's got a
leads
good
on
point.
that mechanical crab?
Maybe one. After our goods were stolen, we specifically got someone to assess the situation. If you're interested, you can go and talk to them.
Who would be
All
though?
right, we'll go and have a
Probably
word.
someone we know. But who would be? Gather information nearby. Oh, that's really nearby. It just goes, oh, boom.
After the goods were stolen, I made multiple inquiries with nearby caravans and residents.
Uh-huh.
It turns out that many others have also been robbed by that crooked crab.
Uh-huh. So why do you
However,
think Mr. Krabs
the
is
crab
doing
only
this?
seems to be interested in machinery. Doesn't even bat an eye at other valuables. A caravan carrying a large amount of mora had an uneventful trip, but another caravan had a child whose metal toy was taken.
How can they do that to a kid? Stupid crabs.
Whatever the case, that thing is a scourge. We'll eventually think of a way to get rid of it.
All right, that's one. Here go two.
That mechanical crab is fast, strong, and a pain to deal with. 10 of us might not even be able to take that thing head on.
What about nine?
Didn't academia ban research on mechanical life forms years ago? Where did that thing come from? Our salaries even got slashed because of it. Who would have thought that that robber wasn't a human, but a mechanical crab? This is rough.
Sounds like it. All right, and then this guy here.
I heard from the caravanners that there have been a lot of robberies lately, but
By
we haven't
crabs.
been affected. We don't normally see the mechanical crab, and it doesn't disturb our daily lives.
Because you don't
It
carry
only
any
shows
mechanical
up when
parts.
the caravans are here, and it runs back to the contaminated region after it's done making a mess.
You haven't tried capturing it?
We have, but it's too agile and fast. However, we did unexpectedly learn something the last time we tried to capture it.
What'd you learn?
It apparently lives in the deepest part of the forest, so instead of immediately moving its spoils, it first hides them nearby. Once its stash grows large enough, it moves everything in one go. You'll have to move fast if you want those goods back.
All right, discuss what to do with the traveling merchant. So back to this dude.
How are things? Did you make any progress?
A
We
bit.
learned of its behaviors, but much still remains unclear. Assuming normal operational status, mechanical constructs generally act according to their given commands. If I were its owner, I'd command it to steal more valuable things, or the mora you made. That would be the most efficient method. But it only goes after mechanical components. This doesn't make any sense.
Right. It's really weird.
So, you all found a way to retrieve our goods?
Do you have any more mechanical parts with you?
Yes, I still have a small bag of samples. They weren't taken since I keep them on me at all times.
We would like to borrow them.
Are you planning to...
Yup.
Under constant external conditions, organisms rarely initiate changes in their habits. Here's what we know so far. It has a mechanical composition, it lives in the contaminated region, and it comes out to steal mechanical components. If we have said components, we can lure it out, capture it, and then make observations for further conclusions. Well, chatting like this won't get us anywhere. We're only wasting time.
You're right. We don't have any other options right now. This bag of samples is all yours, Mr. Forest Watcher. If you can get our goods back, the caravans will reward you generously.
We don't need anything in return, but I'll be keeping this bag. I may have other uses for it later. We'll also need to borrow a sumpter beast. Our act has to be convincing if we want the crab to fall for it.
Oh, yeah, no problem at all. If it means getting our things back, you can even borrow me to do whatever you need.
Huh?
I'll have to decline that offer. Anyway, we'll use the mechanical components and Sumpter Beast to pose as a transiting caravan and lure out the crab. Once it appears, capture it. I leave the timing to you.
Don't worry, we're professionals.
Extremely professional. Alright, go to the location where the robbery took place. It's not too far. Let's go here and we'll glide over. I can't wait to see this mechanical crab. And dip. Go. There we go. Here we are. Just another cutscene.
Looking at the trade routes and the contaminated region's current perimeter, the goods were likely stolen somewhere around here.
Then let's get to it. We'll definitely capture that criminal crab.
Okay, we'll start from here and have the Sumpter Beast with the components on board lead the way. This Sumpter Beast isn't familiar with us yet, so be calm and take your time with it.
Oh, do we have to guide it?
The Sumpter Beast went ahead.
Oh, no, we just follow it.
Keep up with it.
It's gonna go through the water.
Huh? Why did it stop?
Because of water.
Looks like it's loafing around. Or maybe it's hungry.
Hey, what you
The
want?
caravanners grew disheartened after their goods were stolen, so they probably didn't feed their animals as scheduled. Let's give it something to eat.
Look on, it's still important to feed. What did I feed it? I don't even know.
All right, it's moving again.
Moving faster. Arr. What's up this time?
Did you hear something?
Yep. There it is.
Is that the mechanical crab the caravan was talking about? It's charging straight at us!
I don't think we fight it though.
Be careful.
Shouldn't we just let it steal stuff and then we follow it back to where it goes? That's not.
Take this!
Grow.
Life goes
It's not very strong. It's already knocked down. Probably gonna run, right? Nope. It's still got health left.
Just try to escape this time, you naughty caravan robbing crab!
Don't tempt it.
Hey, playing dumb won't save you. Spill it! Why are you stealing so many mechanical parts?
doesn't seem to understand us.
It doesn't seem capable of comprehending complex questions. Keep an eye on it. I'll search around the area for the caravan's goods.
After some searching, Tanari finds the goods that the
I don't know
mechanical
why
crab
you're stealing
stole.
mechanical parts, but they don't belong to you. Stolen items must be returned to their rightful owners. Any objections?
It looks sad.
You came from the depths of the contaminated region, right? How about you help us with something? If you take us there, I'll give you some mechanical parts as a reward.
It reacted.
Does it understand?
We can't be certain yet. Its excitement may be a simple programmed response upon seeing mechanical components.
Okay, so you want the crab to lead us into the contaminated region?
That's right. The contaminated region has a large and currently expanding perimeter, so it would be difficult to conduct a thorough search. If we charge straight in, we'll get lost like headless pigeons. Also, our new friend here seems to be full of secrets. I've been studying this contaminated region recently, and I have a hypothesis of my own. So to be absolutely safe, it would be best to have a guide lead the way.
Paimon gets it now. Does this scuttler understand what you're saying?
It doesn't have to, as long as it isn't hostile towards us. I gave it some components that it will definitely take back to the contaminated region. So long as it doesn't attack us, we can simply follow along.
It seems to be really happy.
Listen to me. Wait for us here. No running off. We'll be back soon. If you're still here when we return, I'll give you another mechanical part as a reward. Understood?
Does that count as understanding us?
I'm not sure. But our priorities are to retrieve the mechanical components and to purchase Vasanti grass to make medicine with. We should return. But before we do, we need to set up a few traps. Can't have that crab escaping.
Get the mechanical components back to the merchants. Oh, I guess this is what Tainari said that he was putting around it. I guess we don't have to do it ourselves then. All right, teleport. So far, I gotta say, this mission isn't the most interesting. Hopefully it spices up a bit. All right, we're back, dude.
Oh! These are the mechanical parts that were stolen! You really got them back for us! Thank you all so very much. I don't know how I can repay you. Wait, didn't you want to purchase Vasanti grass? Don't worry about the price. They're on the house. How many do you need?
2 is enough.
No, that won't do. Here, I'll throw in some more.
Why?
No need. I've already received a reward from you.
Reward? You mean that bag of mechanical parts? They aren't worth much compared to this merchandise.
But those parts are very useful to me, just like the Vasanti grass. I retrieved the things you needed, and you gave me what I needed in return. We're even. Oh, and before we go, just a reminder. The forest has an intricate and biodiverse ecosystem. Even if there were no mechanical crabs, other dangers are still present. Take caution on this route.
Noted. Thank you all ever so much.
Let's return to the village. The earlier we can give the child medicine, the sooner he'll start feeling better.
Let's hope this helps. If someone had this feeling, it's not. Or it will, but then this is just going to go deeper where we got to work with that ruined tumbler. Is that what Paimon called it? Don't want to use up all my sprint before we get back. So yeah, we'll have to see exactly what's going on with this zone that spider thing comes from. Seems to be kind enough. Kale! Hey!
Oh, hi there, Traveler and Paimon.
Hi, Kale.
Master, I prepared the pharmaceutical equipment. Do you need me to help grind the medicine?
No need. A precise dosage is required this time, so I'll do it myself.
Oh, okay.
But once I'm done, you can deliver the medication to the child. He gets a little nervous when I'm around for too long. I don't think he finds me very approachable. I'll go prepare the medication. Traveler, give me a hand.
After you and prepare the medicine, Kale gives it
How
to...
is he? Doing
to-
any better? I feel like he's doing a lot better, and his temperature is returning to normal. That's wonderful! Oh yeah, he asked me to tell you that Suna came by earlier, and he told her everything about the toy. Suna didn't get mad, so he wanted to thank you. Can I ask what happened?
With?
It's nothing. Did you prepare the traveling gear that I asked you to?
Of course I did! Are you going somewhere far away?
Yes, we're going to the contaminated region. Judging by its size, we will likely have to stay overnight. I'm leaving everything to you while I'm gone.
Huh? But I can't even begin to compare to you.
Many things are learned by doing, and once they've been done, you'll realize that they weren't as difficult as you once thought they were. Deal with problems as you yourself see fit. You don't have to emulate me.
That's right! You'll do great, Kale. Alright, then I'll do my best. Master, Traveler, Paimon, take care of yourselves.
Don't worry. Everything will be fine with Tanari around. Don't
I'm
worry.
sure we'll be fine. I think you'll understand why once we arrive at the contaminated region. You put too much confidence in me. Anyway, like you said, things will likely be uneventful. Let's return and find that crab.
Let's.
Surely that little girl must be leaving soon.
Why are you concerned? I'm getting away from this food. Be creepy. Let's try coming at it from this way. All right, to the crab thing. Is it still there? Will we be able to see it gliding in? Will we be able to see it while we glide in? It shouldn't be gliding in. It shouldn't be gliding at all. It shouldn't be moving. It should still be stuck in one spot. I think it's hiding behind the tree. Was it cubed up behind the tree? Yeah, it's cubed up behind the tree. It's very nice design.
We're here. This should be... Huh? Where's the crab?
Boxed up behind the tree.
Did it secretly scuttle away?
Nope. It's
The
boxed
traps weren't
up.
triggered, so it should still be here. Odd.
It's here. That's what I was saying.
You honored our agreement and waited here until we returned. As such, I'll hold up my end and give you another mechanical part. Keep it safe. I'm not giving you another one if you lose it. Glad you're satisfied. If you want more mechanical parts, take us deeper into the contaminated region. I want to see what happened there. What caused the Avidia forest to become like this?
Let's see. Set off for the contaminated region. Peace away. You gonna start dialogue? Wait, there's something up with that flower, isn't there?
So this is the contaminated region that everyone's been talking about.
Look at the flower.
Oh, it definitely looks different from normal.
Look at the flower.
It's like really creepy.
Look at the flower.
Suffocating.
Do you feel unwell at all?
Doing fine so far.
Good. It's as I predicted. Elemental power confers a degree of resistance against the contaminated region's influence.
Cool.
How do you know that?
Well, I haven't entered the contaminated region for a proper investigation, but I've conducted quite a few controlled experiments. My observations during our time here have all but confirmed my hypothesis. Look at these flowers. How are they different from normal?
It's exuding light. They're more colorful. They're brighter.
This flower species is formerly known as the Sumeru rose, but it is also known as the leyline lodestar. They're sensitive to ley lines and emit varying amounts of light in response. Excessive brightness indicates a dangerous level of ley line activity in the surrounding area.
Ah, so that's what's going
From the
on.
looks of things, the ley lines around here are already out of control.
You're saying the contamination here is coming from ley lines?
That'd make the most
I
sense.
can't confirm that right now, but I think that is the case. Let's take another look around and see if we can discover more clues.
All right, let's split up, gang. Or maybe not. I got a strange Sumeru rose. Boom, got another one.
You know, we haven't seen any animals this entire time.
True.
The birds used to chirp really loudly, and there were a lot of foxes.
The contaminated region currently appears to have a critical efflux of ley line energy, which is probably the root cause of the patient's cognitive disturbances. Some animals have keen awareness. They sensed something abnormal in this area and fled.
Leaky ley lines sure can cause a lot of damage, huh?
Like how plants have preferred growth conditions, we also gradually habituate to our surrounding environment. Climate, temperature, humidity, intensity of ley line energies. When people live under fixed conditions, they reach a sort of homeostasis with their environment. This equilibrium is broken when the surrounding environment abruptly changes, causing people's bodies to react in abnormal ways.
Like puberty?
If normal fluctuations in temperature occur, then our bodies automatically adjust. However, the average person cannot adapt to changes in ley line energy, and so they fall ill.
Ah. I see.
Then why are we okay?
I'm
'Cause
not
the elemental
sure why
energy.
you are, but he and I are fine because our elemental capabilities allow us to adapt to this kind of change. Of course, it's not a good idea to spend too much time in areas with concentrated ley line energy. The only one who can freely traverse this place is probably the mechanical crab. That's about it for the investigation. Help me find an open space. I want to test something.
Okay. Install a purification device. This away. Grab another Sumeru rose.
Environment. No wind. Target parameters. Normal. Setup complete. Excellent. Looks like it's working.
What's this?
Looks
A
fancy.
purification device I made. It can absorb excess ley line energy and temporarily stabilize an area.
Gonna work as a water filter?
What a neat thing! Let's set up more and cover the entire region!
I wouldn't mind if that would actually work. Unfortunately, once this contamination is present, it isn't something that a few purification devices can fix. The purification devices have their limits. At best, they can only prevent the contaminated region from expanding temporarily. If we want to permanently eradicate the contamination from the ley line effluence, we'll need to tackle the source.
At the heart of the contaminated region?
That's right.
mechanical crab is acting a little strange.
He doesn't like the filter.
Something's approaching.
Oh.
So that's it. Now that the ley line energy has stabilized, the monsters that had left are starting to return. Get rid of them quickly. Don't let them get close to the purification device.
Okay. Take this, Crocs. Man, why aren't you dropping me? No reinforcements? I would expect there have been some reinforcements of animals.
All of them.
What's up, Krabby? Those aren't your friends, are they?
Hey, where are you? Wait for us. Let's hurry and keep up.
Okay. Lead the way, Paimon.
The mechanical crab went that way. Let's keep up.
Help! Help!
What's wrong, Jasper?
Go.
Solidify!
This is a horrible camera angle. Dropped nothing. Yo, Jasper, what up, though? I saw wind going, like there was going to be a dungeon here.
Spare me! Please spare me!
Okay.
Hey, are you okay?
These injuries are superficial. Don't move. I'll patch you up.
Who are you all? What happened to those mechanical monsters?
We beat
Don't
them.
worry, we took care of them.
Oh, good. That's good.
What up, Krabby?
It's a monster! Hurry, attack it!
Calm down, fam.
How do we explain this? Krabby here isn't a bad guy.
Hey, Paimon's calling him
He
Krabby,
heard
too.
you shouting for help and brought us here to rescue you.
It's faking it. It has to be. Maybe it's gonna partner up with the other mechanical monsters and kill me. Do you know what's inside the forest? It's all crawling with mechanical freaks. I just came here to pick herbs, but I accidentally went into the contaminated region and almost died.
Superficial injuries.
I gotta get out of here. Ah, yes. Yes. I have to escape.
I think his equilibrium is off because of the ley lines. He seems very frantic.
Life forms are up to no good.
Like, you can't tell him nothing
Be
frantic.
best if you stayed far, far away from them. No wonder the academia wanted to completely ban the existence of mechanical life forms. Those things should be annihilated.
Are you okay?
No.
His inarticulate speech and bodily tremors indicate psyche disruption. He's been inside the contaminated region for too long. We've purified the ley line energy over there. Follow this path out and you'll soon see the village. When he gets to the village, someone will bring him to Kale for help. I already prepared medication that will return him to normal.
It looks like it's expecting something.
So, you think you did a good job and want a part as your reward, huh?
It's like my dog.
It's so hard to understand.
All right. Regardless of what you're thinking, you did some real good this time. That's why I'll give you another mechanical part. Need any help with it? Guess not. Well, make sure to hang on to it. What was going through your owner's mind when he made you? I wonder. You're like a giant mechanical crab on the outside and a fluffy little hamster on the inside. And also,
Fluffy little hamster.
how do you feel about that person saying that you're as evil as the other mechanical life forms?
Okay, it definitely doesn't understand you.
It seems like it possesses limited understanding, only towards matters related to mechanical components. Help others to get parts, that's probably its thought process. As for why it, rather, its owner, is collecting so many components, I'm not sure. It's getting late. Let's set up camp for the night. We'll explore further tomorrow after a night's rest.
Okay. Look for a spot to set up a tent. Ooh. Guess you can't set up a tent here.
Hey! Over here!
I don't know where that
Come on,
is.
You big lummox, raise your head and look up.
Are you talking to me? I didn't know you climbed up. Rude.
Let's set up camp here.
Alright, Paimon also thinks it's a good spot.
Oh. Any particular reason?
This place is perfect to put up a big tent.
Is it a big tent?
We can also set up a cooking pot and cook tons of delicious food.
A very Paimon reason.
You're not wrong. But the primary reason for choosing this place is because its higher elevation keeps us away from the water vapor below. Rainforests are very wet. You should always be careful when spending the night in damp places. For the next tasks at hand, let's divide and conquer. I'll set up the tent. You'll be in charge of making the fire, and Paimon will forage for edibles nearby.
Leave it to Paimon.
Does she take edibles?
Paimon's a pro.
I'm not expecting that much.
Ha!
Just do what you can.
Is Tainari always this rude? Thanks to Tainari's guidance, you safely start a fire.
That's right. You can use rushes to start a fire in the wilderness. Their piths are relatively dry and can be readily set aflame. The downside is that they produce a lot of smoke.
Traveler, Tainari, Paimon couldn't find any food.
I have a lot with me.
I didn't know that rainforest had so many interesting plants until we came here. They were all sort of weird-looking mushrooms, but Paimon didn't know which ones were edible. Paimon also saw wild berries on the ground, and Paimon was gonna fly over and pick them up, but the dead leaves on top suddenly started moving. It freaked Paimon out.
Dead leaves?
Those were probably dead leaf butterflies. They camouflage as dead leaves to evade predators.
Ah, you're scared
My
of
guess
butterflies.
is that they mistook you for a bird when you flew over, so they fled. Little did they know that you were more scared than they were. Never mind. The tent's up, so you two go rest.
That is a big
I'll
tent.
forage for food. Oh, you found some already.
You have my gratitude. It's more useful than Paimon.
Hey! Paimon understands it this time. It wants mechanical parts again.
Sorry, no part this time. That task wasn't important enough. If every little thing resulted in a reward, then it might start to take advantage of the system. I'll note little things like this, and give a cumulative reward at a later time.
Are you running low on parts?
That is one reason.
Know it. Aw.
Looks really sad.
After
is like a
some
dog.
further thought, it might come up with some weird misunderstanding if I don't give it something. All right, here's another for you.
Yep,
I'm
just
off
like a
to
dog.
prepare dinner. We'll take shifts on lookout duty tonight.
Ah, he said
You
duty.
two can sleep first. I'll wake you up later.
We need lookouts?
Yes. Even though most animals fled because of the ley lines, we can't completely let down our guard.
We already got
It's
attacked by
settled then.
gators. From
I'll set up
procs.
some pest-repelling
Don't know
devices
which.
so, poisonous insects don't come crawling into the tent.
That
Have a
sounds
good
nice.
night. Not too good, though.
Why doesn't he want us to have that good of a night?
Paimon's getting sleepy. Is this because of the ley lines? It's been a while since we camped outside like this. This is like when we just started adventuring together.
When you got fish out of the water?
Nighty-night.
Paimon gradually falls asleep while reminiscing.
You're awake earlier than I expected. Did you sleep well?
Very well.
That's good. I was worried that you two wouldn't be able to sleep, so I used 2 of my homemade incenses.
Ah, that's
Don't worry.
why.
They're made from all natural ingredients. They have a light fragrance and aren't harmful to the body. Speaking of which, have you seen the crab?
No, I was sleeping,
It was
remember?
scampering around over there just now, but I don't know where it went.
Are you wary of it?
So you can tell. My suspicion is less towards the crab and more directed to its unrevealed owner. A ley line effluence of this magnitude occurred without any warning. Someone probably disrupted the natural flow of the ley lines.
Makes sense.
Until we fully understand the situation, take extra caution. The academia has banned mechanical lifeform research for years, so the origin of these creatures is very suspect.
Academia previously conducted research on mechanical life forms?
Topics related to mechanical lifeforms were popular in the Sponta mod for a time. Some of my juniors had also thrown themselves into such research.
Then they found that the AI would
proposed
take
an
over the world?
intriguing idea. Use our knowledge to create a new and practical life form that could help humanity conquer nature. However, no matter which modules or parts are installed, a machine is innately a construct that receives and executes commands. They can never possess self-awareness like us or other living organisms.
Just you
In their
wait.
pursuit to discover the differences between mechanical and biological life forms, zealous researchers performed unregulated vivisections and other absurdly cruel experiments on animals. Research on mechanical life forms was thus banned.
This sounds like
The
what happened to
irony
Rocket
is that
Raccoon in Guardians of the
researchers
Galaxy 3.
became even more impetuous afterward. Who knows? Maybe the subject will be unbanned in a few years.
Do you not like this area of research?
That's a difficult question to answer.
You don't like the High
I
Evolutionary?
am interested in the topic
He was
of
pretty evil.
mechanical life, but I don't like the researchers' attitudes.
Because the conquest of nature is bad?
It's just my personal opinion. My ancestors and the Veluca Shuna of the desert coexisted together
Hey,
and
there was
supported
the spider.
one another. The bloodline of my people was born from this symbiotic relationship. So to me, all life is important. To understand life, you must first respect it.
Take
Life
that,
is
High
not
Evolutionary.
an expendable commodity, and knowledge should not be wielded like a scepter. These are the points of contention I have with some researchers, and why I left the academia.
Oh, you're still a
Once you
part of
start
it.
placing yourself above other life forms, I mean, what kind of results do you expect to get from researching pure life with impure intentions?
I understand what you mean.
Really? Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Well, I also watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Coffee? Did you prepare this for us?
It looks like it wants a reward again.
All right. Seeing that you're working so hard to help out, I'll give you another part. You're not planning on using it? Many of your own parts are critically degraded, and you're running low on power. All right, suit yourself. Oh, and thanks for the coffee, but I'm about to go to sleep. Leave it with him. The night watch is yours. Stay safe.
Okay, thank you. Wonder if anything's gonna happen during my night watch. 'Tis morning.
Sorry. Paimon slept through the entire night.
It's okay. Your punishment is solo watch duty.
Don't worry. Paimon will be sure to stay awake next time.
Are you sure about that?
Good morning, Traveler and Paimon. A quick question. Do you feel off at all?
I'm a little dizzy.
Me too. The farther in we go, the closer we get to the source of the ley line effluence. We'll be heading out earlier today. I'll take down the tent, and you two...
Is there something we can do?
extinguish our fire so we don't set the entire forest aflame. Also,
I thought it was
retrieve
really
the
damp here.
pest-repelling devices from last night. We don't want to affect the ecosystem here.
Got it! Paimon will take care of the fire.
I'll retrieve the pest repelling device.
All right, let's meet back here later.
Going on without Paimon. Oh. This is what he meant. Nope, not trying to cook right now. Prepare to set off.
All right, it's about time to head out. As we go further in, we may encounter more berserk machines. The effects of the ley lines will also increase. If you're struggling, it would be wise to avoid conflict. Try to conserve as much energy as possible until we reach the source of the contamination.
Meaning turn off the lights if you're not using them. Alright, go to the contaminated What were they doing there?
As I thought, the closer we get to the contamination source, the more mechanical monsters that appear.
Everything is responding very slowly to me.
Wheel of life.
Control-wise.
Lightning flash!
It's not like a bad ping or anything.
Halloween thunder!
Oh my gosh, more?
Gather!
I see everything.
No, grab. There we go.
Go. Everyone hold hands.
Solidify!
Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up.
Take this!
We're not going to keep going this way? Okay. What's up? We're dropping frames. Like, majorly.
It stopped here.
Upon closer inspection, the plants here are really different. Ley line energies are also stronger here. This may be the place we've been looking for.
Seeing as there's like
Yourselves,
visible
We're
wind,
going in.
why is it when it shows like back here, the frames get really bad? Are we about to go into... We are. Should we set up a party with all these elements? So we need a fire... and a water.
Outrider Amber, reporting.
And water.
This is how it must be.
And this is how it will be. I could have swapped out Nahida and saved Chi-Chi.
There's a ton of mechanical monsters here. They made this place their lair.
Looks like there's no way to sneak by. Let's take care of them quickly.
Go, go, bear! Let me scry.
And shroud.
Wait, does
This may hurt a little.
this heal?
Can't see?
You'd somewhat think so, but at the same time, it looks like nah. Like it's an area, and you think that you'd get healed up in an area. What is this?
What is this?
That's what I asked. Never seen a machine like this before. I don't feel too well.
Leyline energy is spilling out from here. This device. It's extracting energy from the ley lines without end.
I have a feeling you can't just
Who in the
destroy
world
it. You
would
just
do
cause
this
an
without
explosion of ley
considering the
energy.
consequences. The ley lines won't be able to repair themselves if their flow is perpetually disrupted like this.
I bet it's that gatherer.
Terrible! We have to stop it! Oh, Paimon see. Paimon doesn't see controls anywhere!
I'm starting to get dizzy.
Standing here is equivalent to being directly showered in leyline energy, which may cause irreversible damage to your body. Take Paimon and get out of here. I'll see if I can find a way to turn this thing off.
We ain't leaving.
You're also vulnerable to the ley lines, right? We're staying. We can't leave you here by yourself.
Duh.
Then let's look for it together. If there's no control unit here, then there must be a trap door somewhere.
Crab says it's this way.
You know where it is? Hey, wait for us!
Ooh, a chest. Give me the goodies.
Keep up.
Keeping.
What's this?
Whoa, a light bridge?
It'll only show up if you step on it?
Be careful and watch your step.
Look! Someone's here!
And they're with a VR headset.
Taking the ley line's energy. Turn off that machine now! Why aren't you saying anything? Too ashamed?
So he's still
His
alive.
body is cold. It's emaciated, and his eyes are sunken, likely from chronic malnourishment and stress. He collapsed and never got back up. What exactly happened here?
He was too close to the ley line energy.
Almost forgot about you. Here. This is the last one.
What is it doing?
I'm not sure. Judging by this room's layout, this place was a laboratory. We should find a repository of research documents if we keep going. The file room will definitely give us some clues, so let's go take a look. Maybe we can piece together what happened here.
All right. So if we go to the board, doesn't tell us anything. We got to go past it.
Wow! It's huge in here!
Yep.
This place is very secluded. It's a natural hiding spot. The pipes continue further. Let's head in.
Okay.
Did you two find anything?
There are a lot of lab notes, but it would take way too long to read through them all. I found a tape recording used for an experiment, and based on its serial number, it's from 2 years ago.
2 years.
Tape recording?
Yes. The Spontamod created a device that visually records experiments and consolidates the final production into a tape. However, these devices are expensive to make and aren't entirely stable.
In what way?
That's why they are only used in some laboratories and do not see wider usage.
Come on, let's watch it.
In what way is it unstable?
Hold on.
Like, will
let
it
me figure
explode?
out how to play the tape. Okay, this should do it.
After inserting the tape, the projector gradually begins to display a
Kakata?
recording.
Kakata? Seriously, I look away for 1 second and you're gone?
Spider.
There you are. Look here. This is our new home. I, Abatui, will unleash my talents here and amaze those ancient fossils at the Academia.
Abatui?
Oh, you're also quite happy. Kakata, do you know what we're about to do? Yes, I thought not. Listen up, Kakata. I'm going to make a mechanical life form that can be mass-produced. The technology will be unlike anything else that exists. I'll use mechanical organs, and electric currents will course through them like blood. A steel-cast heart that will beat forever, and a brain of myriad components that can think like mine. Inspiration from the ruins and the research that the Academia had banned. I hope everything can start anew from this place. When you can understand our language and live among us, you will no longer be a boring machine, but a truly living being.
Dude's playing with fire.
It's fine. You will understand. One day, you will understand me.
The recording ends here. You got another tape?
Is the mechanical crab, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that researcher named Abatui said he wanted to prove something to the Academia?
Banned research. I don't think that's how he pronounced his name, though.
I remember now. I had a junior researcher named Abatui.
Abatui.
He was expelled
Yeah, see?
from the Academia for researching mechanical life forms.
Junior researcher?
Junior researcher. Junior researcher.
Yeah? What's wrong?
Nothing. Paimon was just wondering, doesn't Abatui look older than you?
I don't think there's an
Yes,
age limit when you can
but
enter.
academic progression isn't tied to age.
Mhm.
I finished my studies a while ago, so subsequent students generally considered me as their senior.
Oh.
Of course, age can be an issue. For a while, people, always dragged me into pictures. I felt like some kind of animal on display. That isn't important. Let's go and see if we can find other tape recordings.
So there will be more recordings. Up this way.
Look, look! Paimon found another tape! A date is written on it. Let Paimon see. It's from a half a year ago!
That's quite the time gap. I wonder what happened in between.
After inserting the tape, the projector gradually begins displaying the
It's
recording
rare that you
of the past.
malfunction because of an operational error. Seems that making coffee is still somewhat difficult for you. Or is there an issue with my set parameters?
Maybe both.
All right, there you go. Water entered the Keela and caused it to short circuit, so it couldn't receive signals from the ganglion. Look at me, talking to you like this. You can't understand me anyway, can you?
I feel like you're looking down
It's
on your
fine.
creation.
I swapped in some new parts, so you should be all right now. Try moving around. Everything in working order? Be more careful next time. We're tight on money right now, so we don't have a lot of parts or power to spare. I'm glad. Karkata, did you know? Yesterday, I dreamed that you could talk.
Doesn't he kind of talk?
Aren't the bunch at the Academia always saying things like, mechanical intelligence is just an extension of statistics? They were blown away when they saw us talking with each other. Too bad it was just a dream. Forget holding a conversation with me. You're so simple that you probably wouldn't even notice if I died. Never mind. I should probably be worrying about next month's power.
Recording ends here.
After Abatui left the academia, everyone lost contact with him. I thought he was so despondent that he gave up on researching mechanical life forms.
Nope, he just went to hiding to do it.
He had holed up here and continued his experiments.
Yup.
Paimon doesn't feel like he's a bad person. He even changed out Karkata's broken parts. Why would he mess with ley lines?
He mentioned something about power.
Let's keep looking around.
In order to get power that isn't like an expensive amount or something like that, he probably decided to start tapping into the ley lines, and that's when this whole issue started. Here we go again.
Following the serial numbers, the next recording should be here.
It's two of them.
The writing is sloppy. Perhaps his state of mind had changed.
Makes sense.
There's also an undated tape in the wrong spot. It doesn't seem like Abatui put it there.
Maybe Karkata helped him with sorting.
It's hard to say. These are the last two tape recordings.
Well, let's watch them.
Let's watch them.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm not reading it again.
Sorry, Karkata. I was just thinking about something. Today might become a special day.
Why is that?
In my recent experiments, I successfully gave you a living being's instincts. When you're low on power, or if one of your parts is damaged, you will prioritize your survival command and proactively recharge or replace your parts. That is a very dangerous thing. And today, I did something even more dangerous. I've officially activated the 3rd generation ley line extractor. The ley lines will serve as our power source from now on. Conducting research on mechanical life forms requires a large amount of power. Even if I scrimped and saved, the more I have wouldn't last for long. I'm also getting tired, Karkata. I don't know what's driving me to continue with this research anymore. They say that even if it simulates the operation of a living creature's organs, a machine is still an ice-cold tool. I want to prove them wrong. I want to turn you into a living, breathing, and talking being. I'm not talking about anything cheerful, Karkata. Modules for language, emotion, and movement. I've been working my absolute hardest to augment and refine your functionalities, but I've never seen an effective response. You are my finest success, but even you can't understand me. All you can do is execute limited responses based on preset commands or keywords. Karkata, I wish you could speak to me, even just once. Yes, you cannot understand me, so you cannot answer me either. It is what it is. In a few days, I'll sell the failed ley line extractor for some more and continue my experiments. Life goes on, and I have to as well. I don't have any other choice.
Recording ends. Tanari quietly inserts the next tape.
No. If I place another 2 control modules here to simulate the brain's thalamus. Of course my heart decides to act up now. Why did I cut medication from our expenses? Karkata, come help me.
Is he gonna help?
Strange. I feel weak. Oh no, I have to shut down the extractor. Shut it off. If we let them recharge indefinitely, they'll go out of control.
And they have. It's a long pause.
Right. I never input a command to shut down the extractor, so you don't understand what I'm saying. In the end, it's just like the Academia said. Mechanical life forms only bring danger. My research... Was there any point to it at all?
Mm-hmm. It's just dangerous for you to mess with it.
I'm sorry, Kakata. In the end, I still wasn't able to turn you into a true mechanical life form.
Last recording ends here.
I see. So, the ley line effluence was an accident. After Abatui's unexpected death, the mechanical monsters were driven by their instincts and continuously drew out power from the ley line extractor. This eventually resulted in severe damage to the ley lines.
Then Karkata.
Paimon understands. Then why didn't Karkata go haywire like the other machines?
Because it was different.
Karkata is different from the other machines.
Mm-hmm.
To Abatui, for a machine to truly be considered a mechanical life form, it must possess features similar to any other living organism. It should be structured similarly, it must be able to cry and laugh, and it must have the capacity for independent thought. Perhaps only by building such a machine could he have the Academia acknowledge his protracted research. But if he had slowed down and saw Karkata as a friend instead of as an experimental product, he would have noticed. Karkata can't speak, and yet it cares about Abatui far more than it does about itself.
What does that mean?
You'll see in a bit, but before that, we have a more urgent task at hand. First, let's find the control unit for the ley line extractor and shut it down.
Sounds like a good first plan. How would Abatui be able to get up here? Whoa!
More of this transparent flooring. It feels like a maze.
Kinda. Who made this? Abatui or Karkata? What's with the bubble? We can't pop the bubbles ourselves.
Below us is the final room. The control unit is likely in there.
The way ends here. Wanna try jumping down?
Already did, Paimon. Ooh, time to fight! Ugh! I hear they're like all locked up.
Let's nip that in the bud.
Grow! Make yourself a home. Let it rain.
Shadows of fate, written in the stars.
Lightning flash! Thunderclap!
Keep up the pressure.
I hear everything.
With those big ears of his.
Hey!
Take this!
Delve into destiny.
This may hurt a little. The Temple of Wisdom.
Can't see?
Let me scry. Fate is upon you.
Take this!
Somehow Aether is not taking any damage. Although he might have
This
just when I
should
said
be
that.
the control unit. Once we turn it off, the ley line extractor should also shut down.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Without an external force damaging the ley lines, they should start to slowly repair themselves. Oh, but I bet you two are more worried about Karkata. Let's head back.
Worried about Abatui too. All right, head back. We go up here. Another chest. Goodies! You know, Aether still hasn't taken damage. Ah, no, go up. Karkata, how's Abatui? He's hoping the mechanical parts will fix him. Because he can only relate it to how it would relate to himself. Karkata, chill for a moment. Maybe he'll wake up. Just whoa, 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 whoa.
So, Karkata has been collecting parts because it thinks doing so will fix its owner?
Because that's how he gets fixed.
Karkata is unable to understand the concept of death. However, it probably remembers when Abatui replaced its parts when it malfunctioned, and how that restored it to an operational state.
So Abatui is dead.
It's true that Karkata
Not just like
isn't able
suspended
to
in
think
animation right
or
now.
understand many topics, but it is like a small child that imitates what adults do.
Yep.
So that's why it kept stealing mechanical parts. But it can't repair its owner, no matter how hard it tries.
Yes, but the important thing is that it formed the thought of wanting to repair Abatui. Who knows how this thought came to be, but it has even suppressed the instincts that Abatui had installed. If it really is as we've predicted, this research truly will make waves in the academia. It might have been possible to achieve this with ancient technology, but no one has been able to do the same with modern tools.
Karkata? Karkata? Can you hear Paimon? Tainari says you're awesome!
It's not responding.
It reached its limit. It hasn't recharged this entire time, nor has it replaced its severely damaged parts. It's truly a miracle that it managed to hang on for so long. I'm gonna go confirm that the ley line extractor has shut down. Come with me. Let them be alone for a while.
All right, let's go check it out. Yep, that looks shut down to me.
The ley line extractor has ceased operations. Traces of ley line energy are still in the atmosphere, but the effluence's source has been stopped. The purification devices will handle the rest. Moving on. Those affected by the ley lines need immediate care. We'll put up an announcement on the bulletin board about the dangers of entering the contaminated region, and for symptomatic individuals to find Kale.
Karakata.
According to the Academia's policies, we need to bring everything back. Research materials related to mechanical life forms will all be destroyed, and Karkata will be disassembled and sealed away.
What the heck?
You two should return first. I'll take care of things here. Although we've stopped the source of the effluence, the ley line energy in the air exceeds normal values. Your bodies won't be able to hold up if you continue to stay here.
Neither will yours.
But...
Listen, the Traveler hasn't rested very well, right? Also, it'll take some time to pack up all the research documents. You're not familiar with this research after all, so you won't be of much use here. Tell the Adventurers Guild that the incident has been resolved, and then get some sleep. We can discuss matters tomorrow.
Tighnari marks on the map and goes, yeah.
And don't talk about Abatui. The fewer that know about mechanical life form research, the better.
All right. Then let's go back to Catherine.
What I feel like he's gonna try and spare Karkata. Just hide him out somewhere. Let's leave. All right, back to the Adventurers Guild.
Anyway, so the contaminated region turned out to be a ley line effluence deep in the forest. Things are already getting back to normal.
I see. Thank you for your hard work. Once the excess ley line energy dissipates from the air, we should be able to make an announcement for residents to resume their normal activities. This is the stipulated reward. Please accept it.
After leaving the Adventurers Guild, Paimon takes you to a quiet place.
Is Karkata going to be sent back to the Academia?
I don't think Tighnari will allow that.
It's already damaged, but Paimon feels sad thinking about it getting disassembled.
Me too. But Tighnari has already shared about how his views on life. Like, not what is life, but how life should be treated. Karkata, you can consider it sentient.
Oh, then how about we find Tighnari tomorrow and ask him not to do that? Paimon really wants to go right now, but Tighnari said that we would discuss matters tomorrow. We'll probably make him mad if we go now, huh?
Probably.
Alright then, we'll find Tighnari tomorrow and tell him not to disassemble Karkata.
But to an extent, like, I'm repairing disassemble. And we gotta wait till 8 o'clock. So let's fast forward time. There. All right, Matt. What if he actually takes like the core or the mind out of it
How are you feeling?
and puts it elsewhere?
We should go find Tighnari. How do you think we should ask him?
I don't think we have to. Honestly, don't. Think everything's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
Tighnari!
Shh, keep your voice down. The lilac daphne, a daphne of the genus Thameliaceae, has a strong anticonvulsant effect. It can also be made into an anesthetic powder. Extrapolating from these two data sets, It would be particularly potent against Piscine species. Hey, make sure you're getting all this down.
Knew it.
Karkata?
I thought I told you all to keep your voices low. Plants aren't afraid of noise, but your shouting is making my ears ring.
It's because you got big ears.
Disassemble Karkata?
Why would I do that?
But Paimon thought you said, according to the Academia's policies.
So that's why you two barged in like barbarians at this hour. Fine. I suppose I wasn't clear enough about this yesterday.
He's not part of the Academia
What
anymore.
I meant was, according to the Academia's policies, all products of research must be destroyed. That's why we can't let the Academia discover that place.
So the real reason you stayed back was
Anyway, the first thing I did was repair Karkata. During my time at the Academia, I took an elective course at the Spontamod. Who knew it would prove useful one day? We then buried Abatui together. After organizing the research materials, I kept some as a souvenir. Most of it was burned to hide the evidence. I'm not with the Academia, so what do their policies have to do with me?
Yep.
On the other hand, I am the Forest Watcher of the Avidia Forest. I have a duty to protect all life in the forest.
He has a duty.
All life brought forth in this world has meaning, and Karkata is no exception. If it exists, then it shouldn't be carelessly abandoned or destroyed.
That's great! Wait, you just said life form. You recognize Karkata as a true living being now?
It has its own opinions.
Possibility exists is all. It's hard to explain Karkata's efforts to repair Abatui. Abatui only left behind a small portion of his research. Who knows how many commands he installed? Maybe a conflict between all those commands resulted in this sort of behavior. From a more rigorous perspective, it is impossible to conclude that Karkata is a real life form. But the possibility exists. I am willing to believe in that. By the way, I'm not interested in continuing research on this subject. I'm just letting it hang out here because this place is relatively secluded. But as things stand now, it wouldn't be a bad idea to make it my research assistant. At the very least, it can record my experiments. What do you think?
And that's that. The unanswered problem. Everything always disappears really quickly before I can completely read it. Karkata, I hope to see you in future missions. I think that'd be nice. And that you'll be an accepted existence. Something I was thinking about earlier today is, shouldn't we have some playable characters that aren't people? Like, why not get like a friendly hilly churl that can use a vision? Or what about Karkata? I mean, it doesn't always just have to be these very human-like characters, right? There can be some variation here and there, right? What was I coming into the menu to do? Oh, that's right. Change up the party. Because I don't want to stick with the party that we got now. This is not our normal party. I want to go back to my normal party.
What's happening?
Not much. Just wrapping up recording.
Sure.
All right. And that'll be it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, deuces.
So I wrote it in the rhyme. The Reverend Doctor got an AK, wet working. The roaches get the rays sprayed. My weak rhyme, my body, your best verses on game day. I touch the crowns of self-entitled kings. You leave the heat like LeBron when I melt your idols' vital things. This is Malcolm and Martin, Million Man March in Sparta, mixed with a legion of angels surrounding sons and daughters. Simon Peter with a desert eagle, waving it at Caesar. So if I was you, I probably wouldn't mention me